So much. We'll keep a very close eye on K.J. Harris today. He told us yesterday at about 1 o'clock that the hamstring was only about 65% healed. Went through a walkthrough yesterday. Didn't appear very effective. It really appeared to hurt him. Coach Rich Rodriguez told me before the game today that Jason Colson will start at the running back spot. That K.J.'s got to come in, got to overcome the pain. I did speak with the trainer, guys, a few moments ago. He tells me it's more like 85% healed. He's got to overcome the mental pain.
Colson ran for over 100 yards last week as Adam Pac-Man Jones gets it. He's the game breaker in special teams for West Virginia, and this is exactly what the Mountaineers needed.
We talked about a fast start in the open, Pam. That's not a better way to get it than a 50-yard return to midfield.
About a 56-yard return for Adam Pac-Man Jones. If it was up to him, he would be out there every play. Offense, defense, and special teams.
This wall set up perfectly. Following the lead blocker, guys are getting their head on a swivel, finding their blocks, pursuing down the field. Adam Pac-Man Jones does a nice job to start this Mountaineer team.
Rasheed Marshall is a senior. One last chance to beat Maryland in his great career. The quarterback who grew up in Major Harris's neighborhood in Pittsburgh can beat you with his feet as well as with his arm. And now starting out on Maryland's 47, and there's Colson, and he busts through, keeps his legs moving. He picks up 8 yards on first down. And you just saw Jason Colson starting for K.J. Harris for the second straight game. Keep your eye too on number 5, Chris Henry, the Big East Rookie of the Year last year, has big play potential. Mountaineers have a veteran offensive line. Center Tim Brown got a 6-year of eligibility. He tore his Achilles tendon not once but twice last season. And that offensive line doing a good job clearing the way for Colson, 7 yards on first down. Go right back to Colson, and he is through the Maryland defense for a first down. Chris Kelly coming up to make the stop from the strong safety position, but that's 5 more yards for Colson. Take a look at this Maryland defense. Junior Sean Merriman is a terrific pass rusher for the Terrapins, playing defensive end this year. Dequel Jackson, 2 interceptions in Maryland's opening day win. Hyperextended his left elbow last week. And Dominique Foxworth makes a big impact both on and off the field. One of the best players in the ACC, graduated in only 3 years. But this Maryland defense has been shoved around the last couple of plays. First down, West Virginia. Marshall now out of the shotgun, gives it to Colson. And this time, not much. Merriman is there, maybe a gain of a yard.
Yeah, Maryland's trying to get 8 guys in the box and trying to stuff the run when they get in that shotgun set, but Coach Rodriguez has moved more to the I formation instead of the spread set the last couple of weeks, and he's asking these guys to get off the line of scrimmage quickly, starting with Tim Brown at center and flanked by 2 big tackles.
Rodriguez, the Big East Coach of the Year last year. They were co-champions, had that heartbreaking loss to Miami. In his 4th season at his alma mater, he is 0-4 against Maryland, and there you see some of the backup quarterbacks signaling in the offensive signals to Rasheed Marshall. 2nd and 9 for the Mountaineers. Marshall, plenty of time, all the time in the world. He has a man open in the end zone. A flag goes down. Brandon Miles appears to have possibly been interfered with. Garrick McPherson in on the single coverage. This is an ACC crew. Ron Cherry is our referee, our head ref.
That's a tough call right there, Pam.
Wow, not against McPherson, but against Miles.
Must have happened a lot earlier. Oh, there it is, the latter part of the play. Just extends his arm. Brandon Miles had every opportunity to catch his football, number 1. Number 2, he just extended his arm. He didn't impede the defender, McPherson, from trying to get to the ball. It's a judgment call by that back judge.
Oh, that is a very tough call for West Virginia. Very iffy pass interference penalty, and that takes him back to midfield.
Well, momentum shifts for Maryland on a defensive side of the ball. It stops the tempo of the West Virginia offense. They like to get into a rhythmic passing game, running game right at the line of scrimmage.
So now it is 2nd and 24 from midfield for West Virginia, and Rasheed Marshall calls a timeout after taking a gander at the Maryland defense. 2nd and 24, not what a lot of quarterbacks want to be facing.
No, but unfortunately you have to face it, and there's no way of getting around it. We're going to come over to the sideline, talk to Coach Rodriguez about the best play on a 2nd and 24 call.
So a big penalty pushing West Virginia back to midfield. We're coming back to Morgantown. West Virginia takes a timeout and now faces 2nd and 24 from Maryland's 49-yard line. Big pass interference penalty against the offense, against Brandon Miles, taking the ball all the way back to midfield.
You know, Brandon Miles is their down-the-field receiver. He's the guy who can get vertical in a heartbeat.
He's a junior from the state of Virginia. Came in today with only 2 catches, but boy, a big play guy. 2 catches for 108 yards on the season.
They've already made a change. They put Foxworth on McPherson.
Foxworth probably the best cover corner. So here we go now on 2nd and 24. Marshall can run. Good coverage by the Terrapins this time as Merriman makes the stop. And West Virginia's going backwards. They lose 2 more yards, so a 3rd and 26 coming up.
Well, they started with a lot of steam offensively, but Sean Merriman kind of put it into that play. He knows where Rasheed Marshall is all the time. I mean, he's got his eyes going right at the quarterback and try to fight through his offensive defender.
Merriman's first season as a full-time starter, 15.5 career sacks coming in to this game. And now Rasheed Marshall facing a 3rd and 26. West Virginia's very first possession of the game started out in Maryland territory because of a terrific kickoff return by Pac-Man Jones. Can they salvage it? Marshall takes off. And he is going to be stopped well short of the first down as he is knocked out of bounds around the 42. Josh Wilson, number 4, a cornerback, making the stop for the Terps. He's a sophomore from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, the same hometown as Sean Merriman. So a drive that started with all the promise in the world because of the kickoff return is going to end up with the punt. And look out for number 34, Steve Suter, the punt returner from Maryland, as Phil Brady comes into punt. Suter has taken 2 punts back for touchdowns in the last 3 games against West Virginia.
I wouldn't think they'd even kick it to him, maybe try to coffin corner it.
Brady, a junior punter, but this is his first year kicking to the Mountaineers, and the snap is errant. Maryland will get the ball in terrific field position. So everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Milton Harris making a big play. And the Terps get the ball in great field position.
I don't know if that was an inadvertent snap by the long snapper. Yeah, they were going to run a fake. Actually hit the up back right in the shoulder pad. Actually, his hand hit it and deflected it. He's trying to be aggressive and block his ensuing rusher. His hand gets in the way. Big opportunity for Maryland.
Scott Fleming is the long snapper. They take pride in how good things have gone for them in that department, but that was a disaster. Terps had the ball for the first time. And nothing doing for Josh Allen. And the ball, West Virginia thinks they have it. And they do. So what a turn of events here. We've already had, we're not even 4 minutes into the game and we've had huge plays.
Yeah, Josh Allen tries to get up inside. Someone punched that ball out. Could have been Ben Lynch, the fine nose tackle. Number 92, right in the middle of your screen, Ben Lynch, fighting off blocks.
And Mike,
the ball just squirted out of there, Pam.
Yeah, Mike Lorello coming up with the fumble recovery, and the ball goes right back to the Mountaineers. So both teams unable to take advantage of great field position, and we see K.J. Harris for the first time. He's in the backfield but does not get it. Instead, Colson gets another carry as we send you to Matt Weiner for the first time today. Matt.
Hi, Pam. Taco Bell takes us to Ann Arbor. Michigan trying to bounce back from the Notre Dame loss, and this is what you call bouncing back. Chad Henne to Braylon Edwards, 54 yards in the first play from scrimmage. Big Blue up 7-0 in a hurry.
All righty, Matt. Obviously, that is exactly what Michigan needs after that loss last week to Notre Dame. Braylon Edwards, big play guy. Big play here to Miles. Turns around and can't bring it in. The fans are screaming for an interference against Garrett McPherson, but no flag.
You know, that was one of those plays, Pam, where might have had the official thinking, well, is it tight? Is it tight? Let it play a little bit. Garrett McPherson is a speed guy, speed defensive back. Again, Brandon Miles is the guy that goes vertically down the field. McPherson had great coverage on that play.
McPherson, in fact, is the fastest guy on this Maryland team. This is an ACC officiating crew.
I like the shots they're taking up the field, though.
Yeah, Rasheed Marshall going for some big plays. He's had Miles a couple of times, but unable to complete them yet. Goes again this time to Chris Henry, and Henry slips a tackle, picks up a first down. There's a flag as Henry was hit out of bounds well after the play was over. Dequel Jackson, usually a steady force in the middle, coming up with a bonehead late hit.
Yeah, Chris Henry and McPherson here just runs a quick turnout route, 2 yards down the field, slips a tackle, finds a sideline, jumps out of bounds. That's Chris Kelly, number 2 for Maryland. He's a talker, he's a hitter, he gets in your face and challenges you every play.
The officials having another discussion on the field. And the fans are losing their patience with him.
They got both of them there.
Dead ball, personal foul. After the play was over, number 52 Maryland, 15-yard penalty. Dead ball, personal foul. After the play was over, number 5, I'm sorry, on the offense. The result of the play is a first down. Those dead ball fouls offset.
Wow, so Chris Henry with a little retaliation, and that's huge, an offsetting situation.
He's pretty much out of bounds, 2 yards outside the sideline. There's a retaliation there. There's a push. We talked about in the open pan, such a big rivalry. These officials trying to take control of the game, get the emotions back on the field.
An offset, so it's 1st and 10 for West Virginia at 39. Henry had a 15-yard penalty last week for celebrating after a touchdown catch, and that retaliation got him an offsetting penalty, cost him 15 more. Chris Kelly making the stop on Jason Colson, and only picks up a yard or 2. So in this rivalry, we kind of expected this. The West Virginia players, Coach Rich Rodriguez said they have really been pointing to this game all season long. Whenever he sees anybody in West Virginia, they say, you got to beat Maryland. What about Maryland? Go get Maryland.
It must be, death-defying when he goes out and recruits and he's competing against Maryland. What do you guys do against Maryland the past couple of years?
Yep. KJ Harris in for the Mountaineers has yet to get a carry. He does now on the pitch. Gets around the corner. Merriman gets him high. Foxworth low. But KJ Harris with his very first carry gets about 4 yards, only carried twice last season. You see that even with just 7 yards on 2 carries last year, the season is ridiculous because of what he did in week 1.
Yeah, and he mentioned to us that he could have gone for an extra 20 yards and try to get that all-time record. But, interesting point, Pam, 377. The first line did a tremendous job in the first half, and the second line did a nice job paving the way for his record.
First 300-yard game in West Virginia history. He had 337 yards against East Carolina. Picked up 5 on his first carry today. And now Marshall, under pressure, goes down. The Terrapins get a sack. Conrad Bolston coming up with his first sack of the season, the sophomore from Burtonsville, Maryland.
Yeah, there's going to be a war down here in the pit. Guys are struggling. One thing that happens out here in the defensive line, he had great coverage in the secondary. Bolston comes free. Rasheed Marshall does an indecision in his passing game. Should have just thrown it away and looked for another play.
But there is a flag down around the 28-yard line. Quite a few penalties already early in this game. And this is big since it was 3rd and 5. And block below the waist called against West Virginia.
I don't know how you can call block below the waist, block below the waist because the quarterback was still in the pocket.
So Rich Rodriguez
on the play, an illegal block against the offense. Number 7, the penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's Brandon Miles, the wide receiver, who was called for the pass interference earlier today. So perhaps we will get the first punt. A botched snap on Phil Brady's first attempt gave Maryland the ball at the 50, but then Josh Allen fumbled on the first carry, the first play for Maryland. So here we go again. Steve Suter waits back at his 10. Terrific punt returner for Maryland.